We are go for liftoff in T minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
Italo, Blog Talk Radio.
So welcome everybody to another episode of Italo, Blog Talk Radio. This is Italo speaking, also known as Victor. And I have a special guest today. Is the first time I don't know if I've had a life coach before, but it's my pleasure to introduce you to John T. Robinson. I couldn't mess that up. How can you mess John Robinson? Here he is.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, likewise. So it's been a while. We actually have been we've been playing phone tag, or we've been doing messages like when it's gonna happen. And luckily today's been actually one of those days where the sun is out and it's wonderful and it's crazy. And so I'm like, today is a good day because tomorrow, who knows? Like I'm talking about moods. I'm talking about, what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel in the mood all the time. And last week, actually, I was kind of sick. So I was like, I don't feel 100. And I know now to respect my mood and to, be mindful of that and not force myself to. Anyways, I'm talking to a coach. So you should. What does that mean, doctor? What does that mean, John? Can you tell me what's going on in my head?
Well, I was thinking that that actually fits pretty well with what I share with people, and for me, it's more drawing people out. Because I believe people know answers inside, and I help them uncover them. And then I encourage them to do things like you're doing. To know yourself, know your rhythms, follow your heart. What's my inner voice telling me? What's my inner wisdom telling me? So. To me, something like that would be, right on track, Victor. And so what's the next step? And let's hold you accountable. So, a life coach, you asked me the other day, I think, what a life coach does. And for me, a life coach is someone that's going to help you get to know yourself a little bit, help you identify what obstacles are in your way, help you identify where you're trying to go in life, help you get some action steps to get there, and then help you stay accountable to it. So it's a lot about problem solving. It's a lot about helping people find the direction and go.
Right. I'm sorry, it cut off when you were talking. So
all right.
I will catch up with the editing to see but it's been a long journey for me in particular to get where I'm comfortable now. Whereas before I had to put a facade, or I had to, I don't know, I had to just become somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to interact with people, I had to embody or kind of like analyze them and become a little bit like them sometimes, or borrow their personalities. And sometimes like I would have to mimic their personality. Like if there was an upbeat person, I had to be just as upbeat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it had to be, I wasn't myself, I wasn't sure who I was. And now I'm more comfortable. I'm like, well, I can be like this and you can be like that. We're cool. We're individuals. So
that's great. Yeah, I've had my own journey with that where, as a kid, there was a lot of teasing that came my way about, middle school level on. And so that just caused me to withdraw and basically hide who I was. So it's been a multi-year journey for me, a lifetime journey that continues to be able to realize who am I and to really love myself and to be able to keep sharing my authentic voice and keep putting my gifts out into the world. And so that's part of my journey, what I keep growing on. And something I try to keep helping other people with, because I know how stressful it was before, how limiting it was before, and I know how free and great it is to really be myself. And so I want to help other people in that journey to avoid some of the pitfalls I did and get out into their own sooner than I did.
So let me ask you, John, what made you become the coach? Like, who, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only know you as a coach, but I know that before the coach, it was John. So who is, what made you decide to take this path?
Yeah, great question. Well, I started in high school, probably junior or senior year. Got my first opportunity to be a sports coach, basketball coach for a rec league, and I loved it. Like, oh, this is great. I love supporting these kids. I love connecting. I love helping them grow. I want to do more of this. And so that led me to thinking I'll start teaching at some point. So I ended up back in school as a teacher. I went first for business marketing. That was part of the plan. I want to go for business first, then I want to come back and become an educator. So I went back to school, got my teaching degree, started teaching. And so that was, for me, a form of coaching. And I got to coach sports again in that realm. And then later, I got into leadership. Actually, before and after I got into leadership, which is also another opportunity to coach. And so I was doing that. Also, I got a chance to coach other teachers. So that was, again, part of my profession, to literally coach people. Got chances to learn how to facilitate, like the program Awaken to Ego through Dr. David Muchler. And I see that as a form of coaching. And so all these coaching experiences kept coming my way, and I kept identifying with this coach mindset coming out of the teacher coaching. I went back in the classroom for a while, like, yeah, I'm still Coach John, or in that case, I was Coach Robinson, because it was a secondary school setting. So, and even when I got back into leadership, it's like, okay, I'm still coach. It's this way of relating to people and supporting people. I'm here for you. I'm not just towering over you. If I'm a leader or I'm an educator, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you grow. I'm coming alongside. So I'm going to coach you through it. And that kept coming. It kept coming. And so all these experiences said, yeah, I really have this passion for coaching. So I want to start this practice to help people in their leadership and in their lives and in their businesses, helping them grow, help them overcome challenges and problems faster than they might on their own, and help see them soar toward their dreams and their goals.
Right. So what's the most common question you get, or in your practice or in your years as a coach or as a life coach now? What is the most that you get?
It's a good question. It seems like it's varying still right now. Like someone I was helping, or I've helped a couple people lately with business type things. How do we figure out what client we want? How do we figure out how to get going? What's the best pricing? What's the next step? How do I deal with these challenges? In life type situations, there've been some things like, hey, I don't take care of myself well. I'm trying to get better organized. I'm trying to get a better handle of my life. I'm trying to deal with some stress that's going on, whether it's the health of family members or it's work stress. So it tends to vary, but it tends to be some kind of problem solving, right? I'm stuck in some way, or I'm trying to sort through. I need some clarity. I need some help figure out tools or resources or ways around. So in some ways, it's often some kind of problem solving, and we help them get through it and make some steps to getting toward their dreams and goals.
So what's a common misconception of life coach? Because every time that I hear life coach, I used to think life coach was either fitness in my, that's what I was understanding. Then it evolved, but then I wasn't too sure. I'm like, what's the difference between a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a life coach? Like, what makes a life coach different than they are?
Great question. So a couple different things. One misconception, I think you mentioned the sports coach, because often I say I'm Coach John. And so I frequently get, oh, I thought you were a sports coach. So I try to slip in there. No, I'm well, I do that too. And I forgot scouts in my coaching journey. I've also done scouts and helping people that way. So, but yeah, so sometimes it's that I'm a sports coach or whatever. So I have to clear that up. And then to me, I'm not the expert in the psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor, other than I know it's therapeutic. And so people might get into that side of things. But as a life coach, and people do different things in their life coaching, they might not even call themselves a life coach. They might call themselves a coach. They might call themselves a mentor. But for me, that difference is that I'm not going to be therapeutic with you. It's going to be more what I was sharing earlier. Hey, tell me about your life right now. Where are you at? Where are you getting stuck? And it could be personal life, it could be business, but where are you getting stuck? So let's look at the problem or the challenge. Or if you're not stuck, you're trying to get to a goal and you're trying to get there faster. So let's look at that. Let's problem solve around what has to happen to get to those dreams and goals faster and or get unstuck. And then once we've identified those things, let's get a plan of attack so you can take massive action, and let's hold you accountable to help you get there. And leading into it might be some get to know you as a coach, get to know you as yourself, helping guide you through some exercises or steps that are going to help you get some clarity. But then it's all about that problem solving, that action planning, that massive action, and getting you to where you want to go.
Right. Interesting. See, I couldn't say it. I couldn't say it any better than the life coach. But it's interesting. It's like basically like a directory. I'm assuming that's what it is. It's like if you go to the mall, you can lose yourself in the mall, try to find the Apple store, or you can go to somebody that knows, hey, if you don't want to get lost, let me show you the way. You can maybe not a good analogy. I don't want to sound like you're in the mall, or I don't want to picture that, but that's what I understand. It's like you're basically there to direct traffic or direct people where to go, or right? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I think so. The heart of what you're sharing is that you can wander the mall trying to find that shop you're getting to, and you'll probably still get there, but you might get there a lot faster if you take the time to ask that person that's there to direct you, to guide you. And so, yeah, I'm that person there to help direct and guide you. That's going to say, yeah, you're trying to get to that store. The quickest way is right there. And, by the way, if you're trying to solve that problem, you might also like this other shop along the way. So it's helping you get there faster. It's adding resources and value that you might not have thought of otherwise. So great analogy.
See, okay, I wasn't that lost.
No, not at all.
Cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, for those that don't know, John can be seen. We are TikTok friends, so we got to talk to. We got to not talk to. We got to interact with each other, because I never say talk to, because I haven't really spoken to you until now. But we interacted in TikTok, and we came from a group which is the Joe Tang gang, which is probably, hopefully they're going to be coming to your workshop this Sunday.
That'll be fun.
Or those who are listening. So for those that are listening to in either Spotify, YouTube, or Google, whatever you're listening, this Sunday, I believe is the 2nd, May 2nd, right?
That's right.
Tell us about because there's 2. I thought it was just 1, but tell us about your workshops.
Sure. So I'm going to have 2 group coaching sessions on Sunday, May 2nd, one at 5 p.m., one at 6:30. Those will be first offerings of them, and I'll offer them again, but they're each half of my coaching system. So the first half is all about follow your heart. Remembering to play, remembering to finding out how to know yourself and keep finding out more about yourself. My HA principle, that you're born happy, you're born awesome. And then the 3 B's, which I talk about, are be you, be unpredictable, just be, followed by a dream blueprint. What is your life? What do you want your life to be like? Having some self-care, and then taking a power hour to help you really keep on track with some of that. Those are going to be some of the key things I'll talk about for the Follow Your Heart coaching session. And then for the self-care coaching session, so that'll be deeper to that piece of it, because there's so many things that can fall under self-care. But for me, one of the key things is taking care of yourself every day. It's especially important for people that help all the time, but I think it's important for everybody. And to really know those things that feed you, that take care of you. And I encourage people to make a list. And then from that list, they can do some planning from that. They can do some reactions, some self-care when things get tough as well. and then again, putting that back into a power hour. So we'll have those two things. The Follow Your Heart will be the 5 p.m. session. The Self-Care 365 will be the 6:30 session. And then I'll look to do it again at future dates, because I'm hoping this will be useful to people and they want to hear it, and other people want to hear it, and so forth.
Right. I don't know which one. See, I'm a Libra, so I cannot decide. Follow your heart, self-care. Follow your heart, self-care. They're both pretty good, but
Yeah. Well, maybe I can quote my wife's mother and say, when in doubt, take two. Take them both. So
All right.
come out, take them both.
I might as well. I need both.
There you go. And that way you'll get the whole system, right? And so I think they're both complementary and they both support each other. So yeah, come on out, take them both.
Okay. I might take a break from. I wasn't planning anything anyway, so it's a pandemic, so whatever. Just yeah, spend an afternoon with you. And how many people have signed up so far?
Well,
Do
they've
you
been
know?
kind of coming in fast, so I need to count it out, but I think we probably have at least 4 interested in both sessions. And for your listeners and others, I've been offering free coaching calls as well. So even if you have like this group coaching opportunity, but you have something you want to dive in deeper, and maybe you really can't, you don't know who else to turn to, and you don't want to put a lot of money into it, this is a great chance for people to take me up on one of these free coaching calls. It's a way for me to give back and just provide some help and service to people. So I've got that as well. So the group coaching sessions that I'll be doing occasionally coming through here, and then regularly have this free coaching call offer available for folks. So I'm happy to be able to give back, in addition to folks who want to work deeper with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever information you're providing right now, I know it's a lot for those that are listening. So I'm going to put all the information below, or if you're on Spotify or something, I'll just put the links below. Or you can follow John at TikTok and whatever other formats, websites, anything.
Thank
put it
you.
below.
Yeah, thanks so much. So if you like what I had to say today, check me out at Mr. JT Robinson on TikTok. So MR, J as in John, T as in Thomas, or Trustworthy, R as in Robinson. So Mr. JT Robinson, if you liked what I had to say on TikTok. If you love what I had to say, it's the same handle on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you want to help me master your life and business, you can shoot me a text at 616-287-2340. Or you can email me at mrjrob99@gmail.com.
All right. There's the plug. So, John, now that we got that out of the way,
Yes.
everybody knows about your workshops and everything. What does John like to do for fun? Because I heard that you're a Trekkie.
Yes.
Are you a Trekkie or a Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Which one? Either one. Hey, yes. You said yes to both.
I want to do a crossover. I want to be the first Force-using Star Trek captain, or one of the first. So I'd love to do a crossover with both. I love the philosophy of Star Trek, the better world, better community type stuff, and I love the Star Wars genre, and the Force and Jedi Knights and all of that stuff. So for me, I love them both. I get value out of both, and so yeah, I could run all day with that. And what I like to do in movies in general, I get a lot out of movies. Get a lot out of music. I still have dreams to be an actor, so I was pretty serious about being that Force-using Star Trek captain. Like, hey, if anybody wants to hire me, I'm happy to come out and act. I play trumpet. I sing a little bit, so I love music as well. Those are probably my biggest passions, other than family time.
I did not know the trumpet side. That's cool. Or the music side. See, there's many things I don't know about John yet. We're still getting to know John.
There we go.
But yeah, it's nice that you have other. Everybody has to have a hobby. I think you can be a serious 100% of the time, because some people might assume that that's the way you present yourself, with the bow tie, with the color. So you're presenting yourself professionally, which is that's cool. But then how do we know who you are, you know.
There you go. There you go. And with time, I'm hoping to put more of that out on Facebook. I finally did a dance the other day. So that
Yeah,
was
there
fun.
you go. All right.
Yeah. And, I was, before I got as savvy as I am now, I mean, I still have plenty to learn, but it's before I got as savvy as I am now, I was trying to do a trumpet duet on TikTok, but I just didn't have the skills yet. So now that I know, I can circle back around, maybe give that a try at some point.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Do you have any kids?
I don't have kids of my own, but I married into two, a girl and a boy, and then a grandchild through that. So I'm pretty grateful to have that. And then I've got three siblings, two sisters and a brother, four nephews and a niece through that.
Cool.
Yeah.
You guys, now we got a little bit of your that you don't get from TikTok, or you don't get from the 1 minute video or 1 second video, or well, now I think they have 3 minutes or something. They're coming up with a lot of stuff in TikTok. So it's like, oh, interesting. Now they have dual lives. Now I have dual lives. So I'm excited.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really excited about the guest feature. I mean, it's actually, I'm liking the dual live too. Now that that's finally come through, we had a great session the other day where someone said, "Hey, John, are you available? I think there's some folks here that need your help." And we had a great time sharing. So I really like to dual live that way. And then the guest feature, I don't know if you've seen that yet, but you can have two additional people on camera. So now a total of 3 people, but those 3 people all see the same chat, which I think is great. So
Okay.
yeah, it's fun to play on TikTok and all the people. I've really been grateful to TikTok for all the community that I've built there, the people I've met there, like you and Joe and others. Dara Smile Army DM, or Dara.Smile Army DM, is another great person in the community on there that I've met a lot of great people, in addition to Joe Tang, you mentioned earlier, and just so many great people on there to get to know, to learn from, to share with. So I've been grateful for that, and it just keeps getting better.
And then you mentioned, what's his name? Brian.
Oh, yes. My mentor, Bryant Chambers. So on TikTok, he's Bryant Chambers Speaks. So look him up, and yeah, he's great. He's done a lot of things in his life. He's served our country overseas. I think he's been in a Fortune 500 company. Just keeps doing great stuff in his life with what he's doing, and so I've been blessed to learn from him.
Okay. Yeah, I have to follow him, because I'm actually following a few therapists and a few life coaches already,
Nice.
including yourself. So it's interesting that, to me, it's very interesting to hear about psychology. Is my interest, is more in my interest, psychology. And because I think that I wasn't educated about it until 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when I finally found, it dawned on me something was going on in my life. And it turned out there was a lot of things that I had to unlearn, and I'm still unlearning them. But yeah, it's just, I think especially if you're an educator and you're in touch with children, or no, not in touch with children, but if you're working with children, let me just rephrase that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's cut that out. But yeah, if you're, you know what I mean? Like if you're working with students and teenagers and even younger, I think they have to be educated on narcissism, or all these bipolar disorders, every disorder in the world. Like they can be going through it themselves, and so unlearning some of the bad habits that we learn, and we think, because I don't even know how I learned stuff. Like, how do I pick up on my mother and father's narcissistic traits, and I don't even know that I had them, and what was I doing that, and how did they learn it? And so it's like a endless cycle that I think, I don't know if it's just me, but I think we're discovering more and more venues now. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just me, that I'm just noticing more and more people becoming aware of those things. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we are learning more and more. I was just reading a book about the genetics of it. I forget the name of the book exactly. I think it might be It's Not You, or It Didn't Start With You, where you genetically pick up stuff from your parents in terms of their struggles and so forth. So I found that fascinating. And then working with the work of Dr. David Muchler and his Awaken to Ego program, there was a lot about this unlearning that you were talking about, that our ego comes out of the wounds that we get, and so it becomes our false self, and we start doing things that our ego or our false self thinks are going to help us, but they're really leading us further and further away from who we are and who we need to be. And so we end up needing to unlearn these ego patterns, these false self patterns. Like, that's not truly me. I need to observe that, let that go, and come back to who I really am. And so whether you're getting that through counseling, whether you're getting that through education, um, I certainly agree with this unlearning, and to learn healthy habits or relearn healthy habits that truly let us be who we really are, and get us to our dreams and get us to our best life and our full potential.
Because I believe that America right now, in particular, right, the climate, the political climate has changed, and these Black Lives Matter movements, the civil rights movements, everything has come slowly but surely is now coming to that point where it's like, what is acceptable and what is not going to be acceptable anymore, what is politically correct, what is not politically correct to say, how insensitive, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's more education that needs to happen. And there was actually a TikTok about it. I'll show you later, and it was funny because he was saying, it's like, I'm gonna raise awareness, about this and that. It's like, okay, what does that do? Like, raise awareness? Like, how are you making a change if you just raising awareness about, okay, so what does that do? What else are you doing about it? Are you gonna change it? Are you gonna stop it? Are you gonna say something when it happens? Or are you gonna record? Are you gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there enough awareness going on? But we need to have its action. I don't know.
Yeah. It's probably a blend. I think people are on a spectrum when it comes to that. If you've not grown up with awareness of certain, I guess downsides, if you will, of our society, or the places where things aren't quite as fair. If you're not used to that, if you haven't experienced that directly, you might need to learn about it first, so that you can take action. So I think it becomes a spectrum of, the more you know, the more you do need to take action. And I'm sure we could do a whole nother podcast on just this topic, but yeah, I agree. I mean, ultimately, action is how we get there. Policy change is how we get there. And so the more we learn, the more we can change policy to set up a better situation for everybody, to be more inclusive of everybody with things. So I'm with you on the action part.
Great. Actually, I'm very motivated. I'm gonna take your I'm gonna actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your Sunday, your Follow Your Heart, plus your, what's the other one?
Self-Care 365.
Self-Care. Okay.
Yeah.
So Self-Care 365 and your other one, Self-Care. And I'm gonna just do a part 2, or something. We can talk about it, because it's almost the end of the podcast. But listen, John, anything you want to say to your listeners, to your people that are following you?
Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for befriending me and supporting me. So, the people that I've been working with have become friends. They're supporting me as much as I'm supporting them. And so I thank you all for that. And, keep supporting good people in the world, keep supporting good works in the world. Let's make this world a better place for everyone.
Right. But like you always say, live your best life.
That's right. Live your best life.
You. All right. Let's
Thanks
do it.
We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.